Welcome to the Prescott Valley Arts and Culture Commission regular meeting. Today is November 18th. Oh, bless, 2020. I call this meeting to order. Will you please call roll for us?
I will call the roll.
Thank you.
Chairperson Lindsay Quisenberry.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Nancy Smith.
Present.
Secretary Andy Sinclair.
Here.
Commissioner Edward Lira.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
All right, if everybody had a chance to look at the agenda, do we have any changes to the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimous. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
All in favor? Well, wait, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on to our guest artist today.
Yes, commissioners, I know I don't look much like Isabella, and I'm sorry I'm not,
Lovely.
Yeah, you can call me Bella if it makes you feel better. So Bella is a little under the weather today, so I said I'd step in for her this evening.
Thank you.
I have a exciting opportunity to announce to you Tom and Marcy White, who will be presenting what they're going to be doing for the arts and culture in the town of Prescott Valley with their beautiful sculpture. And I don't want to take much of his thunder because he's got lots of good stuff to talk about. But they are here this evening, and I'm going to take this opportunity to bring them up to the mic and have them speak about their project.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. Come on up, guys. Welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and start off by sharing a bit with the group.
Well, I'm Tom White.
And I'm Marcy.
This is my wife, Marcy. I'm the artist, and she's our business manager, and and everything else I can't even think of. Gosh, she does everything for us. This is why our business runs, is because Marcy does everything. I'm the production man. She's the
manager.
The manager.
I understand.
I'm going to just tell you a little bit about how we got here and how he got into art, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
He'll talk to you about the actual one we're going to do for Prescott Valley. But Tom was a carpenter all his life in West Texas and never really touched art, never had a lesson, never did anything till he was 30. And then he developed a craving to just do art. He developed a relationship with the creator, and he just had this craving to start create. So he was all over the board. He was painting and drawing and whatever, and I didn't know him yet. So a couple years later, I met him, and he was just creating his first sculpture. It just had like duct tape on a wire ball, and where he didn't even know what a sculpture process was. So we had, he'd gone to a little art store, and they told him, you got to buy a certain kind of clay, you got to do an armature, this, that, and the other. And he thought that was really, something he might could try. So he started developing that, but after 3 or 4 times of being there, she was kind of like, this probably isn't the place for you, because the whole face was just coming out, and he didn't know he could do that. So we had, the first piece was Native American, because we're West Texas, and he thought we'd just do, Native American?
Well, I thought I was going to be a Western artist, and then we got involved in the art, started doing art shows, and and showing our busts and our pieces and whatnot. People were challenging me to do portraits in bronze, which I'd never done, so that's where we got started. And it was an interesting challenge, and once I did, it kind of took to me real natural, and before you know it, that seemed like that's all we were doing, just one after another. I mean, it was a slow process throughout the years, but as I started doing more and more small commissions, we thought, well, we could make a go at this. So we started learning how to build the website and building a business, and we're talking about within 10, 15 years of getting this cranked up during all that time, and honing myself at the same time. So, but I remember seeing, as I was starting up, I remember looking through a lot of these art magazines and seeing some of these great Western artists' names here in Prescott and Prescott Valley. And I've met all these people too, which is really kind of interesting. They invited me to their house, and I got to talk with them. I moved here, but I thought that's what I was going to be. but I ended up being a portrait bronze sculptor, so we were doing commissions, and all of a sudden they just started taking with me, you know, and Marcy was doing her best to, you know, get the business running. We were trying to figure it all out, and before you know it, we started doing life-size sculptures and pushing to do monuments.
Well, the funny part, I have to tell the funny part. We took his first sculpture to a big foundry in Texas, and we took it to the guy. It was he had a series of 3 Indians. And this first one, and we said, you know, this is our first sculpture. We want to talk about maybe getting it bronzed. And the guy said, it's not your first sculpture. You got to do that 20 years to get, you know, do all that. And he goes, no, do you just like dip it like baby shoes? I mean, we didn't know the difference. So he's like, okay, it is your first sculpture. You're ignorant. So they taught us the process of what it takes to convert clay to bronze. All of the molds and the master molds, and then the ceramic, and then the lost wax. So it was really an education. But it also was like, okay, we don't really know how to do this. So we had a lot of kids, and we moved to Colorado because there were a lot of sculptors up there, and he was still doing carpentry and all that. Then we moved on to Maine thinking, okay, we'll work from home, do a bed and breakfast, and try to get the art off that way. So it was a long journey, but he did start getting calls from all over the world, actually. He's done Sir Barnes Wallis, who invented the bouncing bomb in World War II. He did that for England, and it's on the trails where they did the trials of the Bouncing Betty in World War II. The Dam Busters movie was made after that. He's done stuff in downtown Chicago. He's done stuff in Atlanta. He's had the privilege and honor of doing a big 8-foot sower in the soils for Franklin Graham and Billy Graham at the Billy Graham Library, which we just love doing. And then for the Boy Scouts, when we first moved here 10 years ago, we had a contract with them to do 11 8-foot bronzes of, like the man who gave $50 million to start the Bechtel High Reserve that they made. We did Mr. Bechtel, Mr. Scott, different ones that gave $25, $50 million. He did Jim Justice, who's the governor of West Virginia. He did Senator Joe Manchin, who was the governor when that project was started. So there were about 11 of them that he did here in Prescott, and they would all fly in for their final sittings if they were living, you know, the ones, and that was really exciting to me that they came here. And then he would tweak them and get the final ones done. But he's done several Medal of Honor recipients. He's done the founder of Give Kids the World Village. He did the first Make-A-Wish boy, Chris Gracious, that's down in front of the headquarters in Phoenix. And then he's done, like, in front of the Baylor football stadium, RG3 Heisman Trophy winner for the new stadium. But right now, he's doing 18 life sizes for a historical park in Texas. And then he just did a lot for the Dennis the Menace part, which was fun because he got to do Dennis in lots of different things, like a pirate, a cowboy, that kind of thing. And we were from
the baseball one was my personal favorite.
Baseball one, yeah. Well, we were from that town, and they just called us from the website. They didn't know we were from the town. And he said, hey, could you do this cartoon kind of Dennis, kind of like one in California? But I recognized the area code, and I said, would that be Midland, Texas? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, we've been there most of our lives, and our daughter broke her arm falling off the plane in that park. And so he's like, you know this park? I said, yeah, I played in it with my brothers in the 60s and the 70s. So that was fun to do one for that town. But this is our new hometown. I mean, when we moved here and Tom saw this, he goes, okay, just bury me here. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So this is where we'll be. So to get to do something for this town is truly amazing to us, you know, that we would be able to show our kids and our grandkids and say.
You can see why I like her to come along, because she can remember everything that I've done. It's hard for me to recall all that. But
You're like, I met some great people.
Oh, well, we're a team.
Well, this is going to be a good project. I mean, I love wildlife, and it's been a while since I was able to, you know, put a scene like this together, which is really awesome. So, you know, now I'll start putting the maquette together, because this is just the presentation piece. I'll move into like a 1/5 size maquette, and then we'll go from there to the enlargement stage, and then so on. But anybody here, anybody around is always welcome to come in the studio, you know, anytime they want, because we'll always keep that open. So.
Yeah, we live right up against State and National Forest at the end of Mingus Vista Road out in Prescott Ridge. So he's always hiking and stuff. He's a man of the woods anyway. So this was really a great piece for him to get to do the stuff he loves, which is the outdoors. So we love people to come to the studio. It doesn't matter if it's this job or other things that are going on at the same time. We've given tours of some of the school groups here in town, some of the senior centers and others have brought them out, and we've done lessons where he just shows you the different stages. And so we did, like for Trinity, their art classes and just different ones. And I had put a few bookmarks and stuff on the table, if you feel free to take them, of some of his pieces. But if you guys have questions for us.
Well, we are lucky enough to have this shared to the public. We're running on our regular channel, and some of our watchers may not know about this piece yet if they missed one of our previous meetings. So if you wanted to, you could describe this piece in location and shape and what inspired you for this piece. And we'll kind of wrap up and get into this one specifically.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming that the inspiration is just something that I see out in the fields out here all the time. So I was trying to make it to where, maybe it's something that I've seen out hunting or fishing or out hiking. But, the water hole is always an important place to be for animals, and they're always there. So, having a good-sized buck is always a good one, too. I always like to, express that in whatever I can in any kind of animal. But, the whole piece needs to, for the javelina and the doe itself, kind of, communicating to each other a little bit, kind of is just a little tiny deal that I wanted to put in there to kind of bring some life into it. But to me, it's everything. As far as inspiration, it's easy to find out here in Arizona. There's so much to it, and to be able to put a century plant involved into it and is going to be. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it's going to be fun to be able to put something like that together. It'll be something towering that people can see and identify along with the wildlife, so it'll be kind of interesting for that.
Well, and I think when he made the shape, in the oval shape, there'll be a ledge where people can sit on the edge, but the water feature will come down, so that'll be cooling and refreshing and attractive. But I like the humor part about, he always puts humor in when he can, of the javelina, kind of chewing
Getting
on the...
a little bite there.
Yeah, chicken, eating that prickly pear, and, because we see them out there, and it's kind of funny because one of our daughters said, I've never seen a live one. I think y'all are making it up when we first moved here. And we're like, no, they're everywhere. And finally, she saw some out in the field, and she goes, okay, I guess you're not making it up. And since then, she sees them everywhere. We saw them going into one of the banks downtown. We were driving the streets at night. So if you're going to represent this area, you kind of have to do more than just the antelope. You got to do some of the other little features. So we like that.
During our process of looking at the different submissions, of course, we had no idea who any of these were, but I now think back and I thought, we should have known that this piece came from someone who lived here. We should have because it so clearly depicts what goes on. We're so impressed with it. Are still.
Well, out
Yeah, I
our
appreciate
picture
that.
window where we live, we see elk come down. We can see
Yes.
them from our house. We have a herd of antelope that come right behind us, and the deer. And we have 17 acres, and so we're the last one before state and national forest, right at the base of Minkus Mountain. So we get this, and we get on our Ranger, and we go up all the time with the grandkids and the kids. And so that's our enjoyment. Like 3 or 4 nights a week during the summer and fall is just go out in the wilderness. So it's a natural fit.
The
yeah.
water feature is perfect for this. We don't have tons of gushing waterfalls. It trickles.
Yeah.
It's a great.
Kind of like our springs, Coyote Springs. So.
Yes.
But we're really honored to get to do it, and I think it's going to be the best thing for us because we have visitors that come. Matter of fact, our family has loved the area so much that we've had 2 members of our family move here, actually 3 now, because they came out to visit us. So to be able to take them now and say, oh, and we did this too, we always have visitors, so it's wonderful to get to.
Being a native of Chicago, I'm interested in what sculpture you had there.
That was my question.
Yes.
I'm also a native of Chicago.
It's James Conley, and he was, I think he died in 1906 or 1909, but at the Irish American Labor Council
Okay.
of Chicago commissioned Tom to do that.
That figures.
And they have a James Conley Award thing that they do, but it's in the park by a big church, Union Park. Union Park is where it is. And So
Make sure.
he has stuff there. He has stuff in New Jersey. He has a big scene in Atlanta. We've got several like military scenes in Texas and in Florida and in Wyoming. And then one interesting fun thing he did over in Santa Barbara, at the Santa Barbara Bowl, he did a big hand of Jerry Garcia, for the Jerry Garcia
yes,
Glen.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
he's missing a finger.
Yeah.
So it's just a big hand. So there's all kinds of fun, interesting projects that we've gotten to do. And he did 5 girls playing musical instruments in Texas, and it's going to be in this one park. They put it somewhere else, but they're also going to recast it. So he's in hospitals and libraries. He's got teachers reading to children. That's in Nebraska. He's got a Gold Star mom depicted holding the flag and crying at the funeral. He's been chosen to do the Wyoming Law Enforcement Memorial for all the fallen law enforcement in Wyoming. And he's already created that of a mom and a little boy, and he's giving his cop car back to his dad at the gravestone. But they're raising funds for the large one. So we have the model. So if you come to the studio, you'll be able to see that while they're raising the funds for that.
Well, we appreciate you making time for us. Because wow, bud.
I appreciate your art. It's not only fun, like this piece,
Yeah.
but the seriousness of the officers also. So.
Yeah.
And when I saw your work online, I was thoroughly impressed.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Very much so.
I think the hardest has been when the kids we've done a lot of deceased children.
Yep.
That one is just, I'll go out there and he's crying and he's like, I gotta get
Heavy.
through the emotions first
Oh, yeah,
before I
it's-
can do the sculpture. Because you feel for the family.
Oh.
You become friends for life because we did one little girl who had drowned and he, after we got to know the family, he told the mom, he said, I'm going to see her in heaven and I'll recognize her because I sculpted that broken tooth. So it's an interesting, wonderful career.
Well, I love that you didn't start till you were 30. I find that very personally inspiring. I turned 30 this year. So maybe I will discover, maybe my hands will learn to art.
Hey, there's
Maybe.
always hope for all of us. I've heard a lot of stories of people starting in their 50s in oil paintings, and they become brilliant at it. It's just, there's little hidden talents inside of all of us, I always believe.
I love that. It's like a wholesome Bob Ross standing right here in front of me. I love it.
And I was fascinated. One weekend I left to go see my mom in Texas. We were still living there, and nothing was started. And when I came back, he had done a complete sculpture of Abraham holding baby Isaac at 100. And I was like, how does that happen? And he said, I really don't know. I just wait on the Lord, and when it happens, I remember touching the clay. I can remember being there 15 to 20 hours, but I don't have a clue how it happens. So every time he starts a job now, it's still that same nervousness, and he has to wait till the inspiration and the vision gets in his head. And then I come out, and he did a gladiator in 2 days. I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah, something about that inspiration. You really do have to wait on it, but a lot of times I just do basic work in my studio no matter what. I always have projects going. I do multi-projects all the time because they're all at different stages. I'll be working in maquettes on some projects, and then I'll be waiting for them to come, enlargements to come back from the foundries. So they're all scheduled out, but that's her job. She helps me lay everything out. I got charts, everything. Just it's amazing how it works, but it allows me where I don't have any dead time, which is great because it keeps us busy all the time. We consistently build sculptures. A lot of sculpture jobs I have aren't deadline jobs, so I can work on them when I want to. That's the best kind. Deadlines are great too because we like to be able to hit deadlines. That's pretty fun sometimes when you do dedications and whatnot. So.
yeah, one notable piece that he just did that was installed this year for the University of North Texas, there was a student that was on a school field trip about 20 years ago at the police department. She was doing criminal justice. Unfortunately, she was taken, and nobody knew where she was for 17 years. And then she was killed, of course, and finally the murderer led to a field full of bodies, etc. But he did a 12-foot, she already had a child, so he did a 12-foot. And when we were talking about trying to design this piece of her, because they wanted to do a big sculpture on the campus about safety and all this stuff, the mother kept telling me that she always had her daughter in her hands, and they had to cut that out to get pictures for the paper. And then the daughter, through all the years, would let balloons go to try to her mother. So when he designed the piece, I didn't know how he was going to come up with that, but he did a beautiful piece. It's not on the website yet, but I would be happy to email her. I may have put it in the packet. But she's holding balloons, and she's holding her little girl, and that's the significance of that piece. When they did discover her, they had balloons all over the house and the door, you know, in a farewell service to her. So that's the Kellyanne Cox Memorial, and you can read her story online if you just type in her name. But because of COVID, they didn't have the dedication they wanted, but we installed it in May, and it's a 12-foot tall piece there.
Wow. Fabulous. That's so, I think it's so wonderful that you brought this to us. What a gift. Thank you very much. We've talked a lot about your work, and you've mentioned the website a couple of times. Will you let us know what the actual website is if somebody back home wanted to look it up?
Yeah, it's Tom White Studio, singular, .com.
TomWhiteStudio.com. All right.
And anybody can call. We have an open studio policy. We have visitors all the time. We love visitors. So if anybody wants to come out and just talk art, or just, it doesn't bother Tom for people to be out when he's working on something, and he's happy to show everybody around. And so feel free, even in the different processes as we create this one, you know. So anytime. We like it.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Do we have any additional questions? All right. Thank you so much for your presentation, and we look forward to hearing from you more throughout this process.
Okay, appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing the sculpture itself.
Yes.
Yes.
Just for information, the bronze sculpture will go at the southeast corner of the Civic Center here on the campus. And, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, and it's supposed to be next November.
Next November, we're expecting installation and ribbon cutting, if you will.
That is correct.
Fabulous. It'll be a great party. I'll see you there.
Okay, thanks all.
Thank you.
All right. Programs, classes, and special events. Not Bella.
So we're going to be having some art workshops with Tom Blank. There's daytime drawing workshops, evening drawing workshops, and acrylic painting workshops. And if you want more information, you're always welcome to contact our office at 759-3090 or look it up on our website at pvaz.net/parks. We have a turkey egg hunt coming up this Saturday at Fane Park. All of the Easter eggs that we had for Eggstravaganza last year were unusable thanks to COVID. And they have been sitting around. The bunny dropped them in our office, and we've got to do something with them. So we're going to put them out for turkey eggs down at Fane Park, and you can come out on Saturday and collect all the eggs you want. And for more information on that, please contact us at Community Services, and we'll give you all the info we got. But staff is going to work hard to get those eggs out there, and we're sure the public will enjoy it. Santa's North Pole Village. We'd be transported to the North Pole and walk through Santa's Village, visit the Gumdrop Forest, the Gingerbread Workshop, and end the trip with a special sneak peek of Santa in his house. Friday, December 4th, directly following the Festival of Lights Parade. Staff and volunteers are working hard to get Santa's Village in order. Reindeer are being cut out, and houses are being built, and we should have everything ready to go for Santa on the 4th.
Great news.
Corn Toss Tournament. Games for the whole family and food and holiday food and toy drive Saturday, December 12th, 2020 from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Club at 8201 East Luce Drive, Prescott Valley, Arizona. Pre-registration is required for this corn toss tournament, and I got to tell you, it's a nominal fee to be involved in something so great. We're looking to provide toys to Toys for Tots, provide some food to the food bank, and give everybody an opportunity to come out and have a great time. The Play It Forward Scholarship Program is something that staff has been working on very diligently in the last few weeks. We have created the forms, we've created the guidelines, we've even created the way to people to donate via our website. This is an opportunity for people and individuals that may not be able to afford our programs to find a way to participate. We're going to be working with the HUSD, Humboldt Unified School District, their reduced lunch and free lunch program. And if you qualify for that, then we're going to look at you qualifying you for the scholarship program and a tiered system. If you are not, say you're not a student of HUSD and you'd still like to apply, we have another system in place where we will review, documentations that you provide, and we'll do our best to provide a scholarship to your participant. It is a youth participant, 17 and under. Right now the cap is $100. And our goal is to build that program up. There are a lot of students in HUSD. Typically over 50% of the students at HUSD qualify for reduced or free lunch. So it is definitely something that weighs on our mind when we're asking people to attend our classes and our programs and pay to come to those, because it may just be something they want to do, and unfortunately they just don't have the means. And this program will include swim lessons, and I didn't even see the headlines up there, and it'll run fiscal year from July 1st to June 30th. And we are asking that no matter what, if you do receive a scholarship, that we do ask that you still pay $5. That the maximum that pay $5 to participate, and that goes in towards the fund. It goes in. Right now, the fund is a little low on funds, but we're going to get there. We've got some ideas. We've got some creative ways of raising funds, and I got to tell you, the staff is phenomenal, and I have high expectations for this program.
And when we're talking about childhood, it is a short window of time. You have only so many summers, only so many school years. So, the concept of like saving up for a car, you could save for a week, a month, 2 years. But with childhood, you really don't have that kind of time. Right. And so opportunities like this are really important to foster. And we appreciate the town's involvement in that as a whole.
Absolutely. What do we got next? It looks like we're on to division and department updates.
Yes. We have this monthly report.
So the Arts and Culture Monthly Report, I believe all of you have received it. I won't take, we talked about the Tom White Studios and the beautiful project that they're going to be doing for us. We have some artwork that's being finished up and over at Fane Park that Gene Galazan, I think I pronounced his last name correctly, donated to the town. And we have Nick Wroblewski, our parks manager, has been working with staff to get some decomposed granite in the area and work around those statues to beautify the area. We had a juried showcase, fine art showcase here at the public library. It just ended yesterday. Mm-hmm. There was this year it was 9 diverse artists working in 2D mediums, and the best in show was awarded to a painter, Damian Nunez, for his oil painting of Orinda. I think I said that right. So, yes. And there's a picture here in your report. Yeah. So also we are working on the Jenkins Memorial, and that is the obelisk, and that is going well. I believe that there was a visit to the bronzesmith, and we'll have an update on that a little later. And yeah, is there any questions on the report?
Don't have a question, have a comment. I was fly fishing over at Fane Park yesterday, and it was interesting to see a father and his little son by the Gene Galazan pieces of artwork talking about the art. So yeah, that was good.
It is good definitely a good addition to the park.
It fits the space.
Let's see here. The next on the agenda, I believe, is the chairperson's report.
Yes.
Lindsay, if you have something for us.
You know, I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention, we have arts and culture goes much farther than the arts. Today, Coach Mike Pantaleone, head soccer coach at Yavapai College, announced his retirement. He is a 7-time national championship coach, and he's been with Yavapai College for 32 years. So big, exciting thing to happen, and he has brought this award-winning team to Prescott Valley time and time again. They used our fields, and I just wanted to not necessarily announce, but recognize Coach's involvement with the town and his commitment to us as well. And so congratulations to Coach Mike Pantaleone in your well-deserved retirement.
Absolutely said well.
Outside of that, the Create a Tree display that includes wreaths this year. Deadline's coming up here soon, but we are seeking volunteers to help people put them up here at the library. So if you can spare an hour or a half hour or maybe 1 or 2 days with me, I would appreciate the help, and the public is always welcome to volunteer and get closer with the town across the board.
We have a volunteer coordinator in community services now that does both the library and Parks and Recreation. Her name is Brandy Saibaugh, and she is phenomenal at what she does. And I would say if you would like to volunteer, all you have to do is contact her. Her extension is 3096, and she will be glad to work with you in getting you to be volunteer for our division.
And volunteering around the town is a great way to hit those warm and fuzzies after maybe a rough year for everybody. I know that, serving here with my fellow commissioners is some of the warmest and fuzzies that I get. And I encourage anybody to apply to join us because we do have spots open. Just going to toss that in there. You definitely want to join our table. Let us know. And then committee updates and planning. We did talk about the Jenkins obelisk.
Yes, I believe that Nancy and Andy were in attendance to the visit, and if you'd like to take a moment to talk about what you saw, this would be that great time.
It was great going over to Bronzesmith. The idea of seeing various sculptures, small sculptures, massive sculptures that are being built, including the obelisk. And it's right here in Prescott Valley. World-renowned artwork is created here. And it was great to see how you go from the clay or drawing to the pouring of the bronze itself. So I'm looking forward to the obelisk. Looking forward to watching it be constructed.
I might add that the Bronzesmith always welcomes people to come in and see what's going on in their studio. It's on 2nd Street, right near Lake Valley Road, just a little bit west of that. And they enjoy people coming and seeing the small art that's going on, the gigantic sculptures, and especially on Thursdays, they do pourings. And if you call and check with them, you can witness a pouring of the bronze, which is something to see. It's quite a task. And all the steps that go along with it, just like Tom White talked about earlier. So it's another thing. I don't think people realize that the Prescott area is the world center of bronze sculpture. Do you know that? This is the hub of it around the world, and we're very lucky. And it was a great tour. We had a lot of fun. Edward was there too.
Yep, I was.
Yeah, we were. And Ed is very enthusiastic about the work and carrying on, and his what the sculpture is going to look like, and it keeps evolving as he's doing it. So can't wait. It'll be, I think it's May. This is going to the end of May of 2021. It will be installed. And once it is installed, you will never have to ask, where is it? You will see it from everywhere.
Outstanding. Create a Tree. I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind folks that applications are due November 20th. for Create a Tree. This year you can also do wreaths like we discussed if you don't want to do a tree. And we are looking for people's help to install these. And you know, this is a great opportunity to promote your business, promote your organizations. Take the time to talk to us. We can always give you ideas. If you're a little, stuck, you want to do it, but you're not quite sure, take the time to call us. We'll talk it through with you. The next item, I believe, is a work-study meeting location update.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are moving our regular work-study meeting room from 4th floor? Are we going to
28?
We are moving to 428 or from 428?
428 to 330.
to 3:30. We're moving our room from 428 at the Civic Center to 3:30, and I will take a motion to approve the long-term move.
I would like to make a motion that we move our work-study meeting location from room 428 in the Civic Center to room 330 in that same center.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That passes. Do we have anything else that we added? We don't have any. Are there any unscheduled public appearances?
I don't believe so at this time.
No? All right. Anything else we needs to bring to the table?
Nope,
I
I'm
think
good.
we covered it.
Wonderful. All right. Our next work study meeting will be next year. We're skipping December for our meetings, but I hope to see everyone at the various town events that will occur between now and January 13th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. in room 330 at the Civic Center. And then our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, January 20th at 5:30 right here. Can I get a motion to close the meeting up? I declare this meeting adjourned.